This week in Warcraft, BlizzCon is just 2 weeks away and we now have a schedule to go along with it. Blizzard All-Stars has been renamed Heroes of the Storm and we'll finally get to see live matches at BlizzCon. Chain crowd control has been an issue in PvP and Blizzard says they're working hard on reducing the amount of and frequency of CC in the next expansion. I'm Mezzy and welcome to our WoW Weekly. Alright, welcome back to WoW Weekly, episode 8. We've been doing this for 2 months, guys. This week, I'm joined by LJ. How are you doing, man? Nice to see you back again.
Thank you, and glad to be back. I'm doing quite fine after a frightful week, but it was fine. How are you?
Well, I'm okay. I mean, I still am for now. I don't know about tomorrow, but we'll see. This week, we have a new guest. He's known as Anders, but mostly as Talk or Slacker, to be honest. How are you doing, Anders?
I'm doing wonderfully.
Great. And our resident Wookiee is back as well. How are you doing, Matt?
I'm not too bad, darling. How are you?
Well, I'm alright. So, this
Where's
week...
Kangaroo?
Well, Kangaroo, he's left the building for now. I mean, actually, he's just over there on the... well, something. But right now, we'll just keep it the four of us. I think the screen is actually full enough already.
I bet he's just planning to run for president. He's just running his campaign now.
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Still not sure what's president of what exactly, but I'm sure we'll find out eventually. Maybe I'll actually do something with that at one point in a machinima or something. I don't know. We'll have to see. So, this week, we're going to actually have a part 1 of a special BlizzCon edition of WoW Weekly. There isn't much to talk about World of Warcraft this week, because the only real information that's come out has been about PvP, and none of us are real PvPers, so it would be just wrong if we were to talk about it, because, let's face it, we're not experienced much in today's PvP anymore. So we wouldn't really know what to say. So instead, because BlizzCon is coming in just 2 weeks' time, and we have the schedule now, we're just going to talk a bit about BlizzCon and what we would like to see, and well, really just also predict what we're going to see if we can get something right. Now, after BlizzCon, we'll also have a special post-BlizzCon episode, where we then review everything. What we've said and what we thought of BlizzCon itself. So, the first event every BlizzCon is the opening ceremony. Now, what can we expect from this? What have they really done with the opening ceremony at the start? I think all of you saw BlizzCon last time as well.
Oh yeah.
Bits and parts of it, but not that much. I'm not always that into BlizzCon. But
yeah. Okay.
I'm just a casual observer, maybe. Yeah, sounds expensive enough.
Yeah. I think last time they did announce Mists of Pandaria at the opening ceremony. I'm not sure if they announced anything else.
No, it's just Mist of Pandaria.
Yeah, they usually like to take the opening ceremony and announce their, well, number one thing that's usually coming up next. And I'm wondering though, because they didn't do a BlizzCon last year, and they have plenty of stuff coming around. I'm kind of hoping we'll get multiple big announcements. It would be nice to see stuff from, well, obviously Warcraft. This is called WoW Weekly. So we would like to see something from Warcraft.
Oh, we're all just big Blizzard fanboys anyway, so I mean,
exactly. Well,
Anything's good.
We are more critical of them these days, but yes, in general, we're still fanboys.
At heart, we're still fanboys.
Speak
Yeah.
for yourselves.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm always the pessimist.
Well, we've already had a Diablo 3 announcement at Gamescom.
What did it shite? I mean, not very good. I apologise.
What?
I hate Diablo. Sorry.
Ah, yes. Well, I think
Diablo.
we all have our negative opinions about how Diablo and the launch and stuff went a few years back.
It went awesome, didn't it? I mean, after the first 2 or 20 times of completing that game, I mean, it just kept so awesome, and I'm sorry, I hate that game. I seriously do, and I like that they're shutting down the real money auction house.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well,
good idea.
Seeing as we're going from limb to limb anyway, isn't it too late though with the real money auction house taking it down? It already has done its damage.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a bit of a pointless thing to do. It's not had the effect they wanted, but surely they realised that after a month of the game being released, it wasn't going to have the effect they wanted. But they left it going and going and going because they thought, you know what, it's not working how I want it, but we'll get a bit of money here from this.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure they made a fair bit amount of all the cuts they took out. I mean,
Yeah.
It never really served the purpose I think they wanted it to serve. But if you asked anybody who had an idea about that game, about that plan, they would have already said to Blizzard, like, look, this is not going to work the way you want it to.
Yeah.
Always, when real money isn't involved, I mean, there's always people who are going to find a way to use, exploit, or whatever system like that.
Yeah.
It seemed pretty obvious that they wanted to sort of emulate the Steam auction house, especially for games like Dota 2 and Team Fortress. But the main point was that in those games, the things you can buy, you can put on the auction house, aren't game changing. You can't buy in-game gear in the same way that you could in Diablo.
No, you can buy
Yeah.
hats.
You can buy hats and weapons, to be
And
fair,
weapons.
and
Yes.
weapons, but they're not that different from the normal stuff.
No.
You don't get an
that's
advantage as such. So-
Yeah, exactly. Especially for Dota 2, it's just all cosmetic, and that wasn't
Yeah.
really the case for Diablo at all.
No,
That's
if you had a good legendary there, that could be worth hundreds.
Oh, yes.
of dollars. I mean, in the beginning, probably. I don't know if it really happened. Stuff was not going to auction house for thousands of dollars. I mean, I don't know what happened, if there are any weird stories from that, but yeah, it's just. I mean, like a friend of mine was. He played the game for like a week. After that, he just started botting it, and he never got caught. Never. I don't know what kind of program he used or whatever, but he made a fair bit of money out of that.
yeah, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
so-
considering when we started playing it again, and he lent us all these legendaries
yeah,
and stuff, and sets and whatnot.
yeah. Those were shitty legendaries that wouldn't sell.
Yeah,
Yeah, go figure.
yeah. So basically, if you did buy that stuff off the auction house, we got it for free, and we still have them on our characters, still lending it. Yeah, I know. But basically, you can't really do anything else at that point in the game either, because you already have awesome gear, and you just, well, usually are able to kill everything pretty quickly.
So the question is the expansion going to save the game?
That, yes, let's go back
Since
to
we're talking
the
about
BlizzCon part. Exactly. Is
Yes,
the expansion
talking about
going to
BlizzCon.
save the game? I mean, the story, I'm sure, will be awesome. I think, especially after the cinematic, I will buy it.
Yeah.
I just want to see how the story continues. But is it going to save the game? Only if they're really going to make big changes, as in gameplay mechanics. Otherwise, no, it'll be the same thing over and over again.
Well, as I've said before, Diablo, the reason they went wrong is they never gave you anything in the storyline as an incentive to play again. All they did is give you this level 50 cap, and you had to basically play every single part of it to get that far.
Mm-hmm.
But there was never any incentive to do that, if you know. It was never one of these. Once I completed the game once I knew what the story was, there was nothing new as far as I know from what you said. You lot have said as well to me before.
Yeah.
To really get you into it. What I would much rather have liked is the first playthrough to be a really simple playthrough. Maybe, yeah, have the story, but leave a couple of questions open that you would literally have had to have played the next couple of versions to conquer and do well there, because then there's something else for you to work for, something else for you to actually do, but unfortunately it just wasn't. As soon as you completed it again, I played it a second time. I think I got halfway through the second playthrough and almost fell asleep.
Yeah, that would be a good way to keep people playing. But even when they added Paragon levels, they're not enough to keep going, especially because it becomes a real grind. You just grind the same chapter or act. It's called an act, not chapter. Every act
It's the
over
same
and
deal.
over again. And it's just not doable. So it is understandable if people start botting, especially if they can make real life money off it.
Yeah, I mean, the trailer already got me going for the game again. I mean, I really like. That's with Blizzard most of the times. I mean, well, you hate a game at one moment, and then they release a trailer for a new expansion, and everybody just they wet their pants almost literally when seeing that. I mean, I'm sometimes exactly the same. Those trailers always get me back in, but it's just they really need to redefine that game in a very rigorous way. Otherwise, it's going to be like Matt said. It's going to be play it once, play the same game every time. It's just that, and that won't do it for me at least. So I'm not sure even if I might wait with what you guys say before buying it, or other people, or what the general consensus is going to be then. But I probably won't be buying it right off the bat, just like I did with Diablo.
I've got an inkling though that I know this may seem pessimistic, may seem a bad, but I actually think they were realising when they made it last time that it wasn't as good a game as they were hoping, because then they offered the whole, if I believe this is the right one, tell me if I'm wrong, I think it was this, if you brought the game you got year subscription, you had to basically got the game cheap?
Yeah.
There was the year subscription for World of Warcraft, like a contract for a year that you had
the
to
annual pass.
the annual pass, and you got a mount, and you got Diablo, and you got something else.
But you ended up getting the game for a lot cheaper than you normally would have got it for, and to me, it almost feels that was sort of the sweetener of the deal, because they realised that actually it's not as good as we thought it should be.
It already sounded like an apology.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way it did.
Yeah. So, Anders, did you play Diablo much?
Not a whole lot. No, I did not. For several
Okay.
reasons. I mean, I like the story,
Mm-hmm.
but Diablo 2 was better in a way, in that gear really mattered less than in Diablo 3.
Okay.
I mean, gear was awesome in Diablo 2, but it didn't lock you as much down. You had more choice. I mean, each class had 8 different endgame sets they could all run. So there's a lot more variation.
Yeah.
In Diablo 3, everyone wanted the same items all the time.
It was more defining which class you chose and played.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought there was more variation in Diablo 2. You could play your characters in different ways compared to Diablo 3, which was what more of the same. So there was less reason to play the game again and such. So
All right. So,
that's just my opinion.
any predictions as far as possible mechanic changes they'll announce? I mean, we know they're going to change the loot system. That's already been announced. But anything as far as either leveling goes or end game content, perhaps? Or just as me, pretty much blank minded on that.
I'm hoping they're changing the itemization a bit, so that
Yeah, they are.
So it becomes less, the stats make more sense on the items.
Yeah.
That would be the big thing.
Intellect on a bow. Why? Just
Yeah.
why?
It felt like vanilla, like
Oh, yeah.
Plate of the Wolf, which was spirit and agility or something.
Yeah, I believe
stupid.
it
I
was,
mean,
yeah.
that was that's
in-
never been good. I mean, I
Best
don't
in
know why they.
slots.
Yeah, best in slot definitely. For what class we do not know, but that you would have assumed that they learned from a game that they made years back that they shouldn't do stuff like that, but apparently not. So
I guess they wanted to try it because the players' general attitude has changed to what they look for in a game.
Yeah, but I say, the problem with that was one thing. The amount of times when I was playing that game, oh look, I've got a bow dropped. Oh, let's just see, because I played Demon Hunter was the main thing I played.
Yeah.
Got a bow and this type of stuff, and all of a sudden I looked at it and thought, oh, that's got stats that are good for a monk or good for somebody else. That is absolutely
barbarian or something.
yeah, or barbarian.
Yeah.
It just made no sense. I can understand them wanting a bit more randomness in there, if you know what I mean, not wanting it to all be the same, but to literally have a situation where you don't know if that item's actually going to be any good for you. And I think the main issue I did have with it was I think the problem is that what you had with the auction as well was as soon as if you saved some money up on the game, because there were so many people playing it that far when I played it, even then there were so many people that had gone quite far into it, their rubbish items were quite good for me, so I'd have one, and all of a sudden realised for 3 levels I would not be able to get an upgrade. Every single item I get was completely pants, and you're sort of thinking, oh, that's a bit disappointing. And I know you can turn around and say, oh, don't buy anything from the AH and all this type of stuff, but at the end of the day, that it's there, you use it because you think, oh, should be alright, this should, and then end up actually probably making the game a worse experience of what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally agree. There's a lot of things of that game that you can say were stillborn, even put it horribly.
Yeah.
But while it was looking very colorful, I was really looking forward to that game, especially that time. I think there was not really any other game or anything at the moment that was really getting excited over.
No, I believe we were all bored in Dragon Soul.
Yeah,
So-
but I'm also speaking of like games outside of World of Warcraft. That was a really boring time of the year, I think. So, but yeah, and then that game, which it kept you busy for a week, but after that was just back to Dragon Soul.
What? Hang on, LJ. Wait a minute. I must have heard you wrong. There are games outside of World of Warcraft, outside of Blizzard.
I'm not playing Final Fantasy at the moment. No, I'm not.
Okay, good. Because if you were, traitor.
Oh, that's harsh.
I know, but I don't care. So, let's move on to the next game.
Send us care packages. Look at our boss arena.
So, moving on, the next game, obviously the main game, why we're here, World of Warcraft. So, the first panel for World of Warcraft is entitled World of Warcraft, What's Next? So basically, at that point, it could be anything that they're going to talk about. They could be talking about server shutdowns, server merges, who knows? But obviously, the next expansion. What are we hoping to see there, and possibly are expecting to see there? I believe the Dark Below has been proven to be a hoax. We're back to square one.
Well,
It has been proven, yeah?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Sorry, Matt,
Yeah.
go ahead.
It
So,
is.
from what all I want from the next expansion is to have, like back in the day, is to have a focal point for the expansion that everyone wants to kill, everyone hates, everyone does not like. I know at the end of the day, it took a while for us not to like to Hellscream, but most of the expansion, I generally thought he was slightly less grumpy than Varian, up until the last part. So,
Yeah.
all I personally want is to have a focal point that is disliked, that makes people want to kill it, makes people want to get there. They have to. I quite like Pandaria, what they've done with the area and how it looks and stuff like that. They need something else unique. They cannot, as they have done in previous ones after they've done something new, rehash everything. I know it's hard in the boss fights, but I think they've done quite well at this place before, and they've in Seas of Ogmir, they've done quite well there. I think, yes, they've rehashed a lot of things, but at the end of the day, when the game's been going for so long, they're going to rehash a lot of stuff. So that bit's not too bad. I just want a fair bit of new stuff, refresh it, and just have someone that we hate and want to kill. That'll make me happy.
All right. Well, I'll give you 3 options: Queen Ashara, the Burning Legion, or the Old Gods. Which do you want most?
Can I use a lifeline?
Sure.
All 3, please.
All 3.
Who do you want to call?
I want to call all of them. Jesus
Go.
Christ.
No, but of the 3, because they are the most likely, who would you like to see?
I wouldn't mind killing Karina Ashara because literally every single time over the past few expansions, someone has mentioned to me that they wanted to kill someone. It's been her. Everyone's wanted to finally blow her head off. So I'm thinking, just get it out of the way. Oh, but it would be nice to have something to do, as you said, all 3. Maybe have something to do with the burn, something to do with all of them. Have one of the main focal points. It's going to be hard, but there's a lot. As you said, the lore's massive. There's a lot of things I can do.
And one thing we're probably going to see: trolls. Just saying it now.
Trolls. What was it again? We said trolls.
Oh yes.
Forum trolls?
Poop.
And
Poop quest. Poop quest. Yep.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, always a poop quest.
always.
Yep.
Always.
Yeah. So
So,
Anders, you haven't been playing WoW, obviously, but do you have
for
any
like half a year.
predictions for lore-wise?
Well, they've been dropping hints for a long time that it's going to be Burning Legion related. So, I mean, since Wrath, really, they've been hinted that we're going to see Burning Legion soon. So I think it's kind of about time they show up. Whether or not they're going to rehash Outlands, hard to say.
I wouldn't mind if they did that, just as long as we get another new planet.
Yeah, I think, personally, I think that we're going to go to different demon worlds, like Burning Legion controlled worlds, through portals.
Take the fight to them or something along those.
Yeah, something like that. I mean,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
my prediction.
Well, with that, you did play Cataclysm, didn't you?
Yeah, of course.
The main issue they had with that was that all the places for the new content were spread. So wouldn't we get the same if we had to take portals to different planets?
Well, maybe we only get one planet then.
Just
was
solve
one-
it like that.
Yeah.
I still like the idea though to go to different planets, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah, they'd have to do it in the right way, not like they
Yeah.
did Cataclysm.
No.
no, I agree.
We're probably gonna see. Again, I'm thinking just firing from the hips here.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Probably
what
gonna
the
see
podcast-
a main hub world planet that is our foothold into the Burning Legion controlled worlds, and that's probably gonna contain the major areas, and then we're gonna have smaller areas where we probably even like raids or instances where we probably sabotage some of the worlds along the way. I mean, they're getting some of their Legion armies off different worlds.
Yeah.
So we might be going in and sabotaging them. And obviously we're going to face Kill Jaden in the end again.
Yeah, the real Kill Jaden this time in the Avatar.
yeah,
They've made a point of getting us to kill all the old bosses that didn't really die the first time.
Yeah, pretty
especially
much.
in Cataclysm. There were,
Oh,
how many?
yes.
We killed three bosses from the old times.
Yeah.
Who was there other than the Ragnaros that we had?
Nefarian and
Oh, yeah, of
Onyxia.
course, Onyxia.
killed those again. I mean, Zombified, but still.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
You're right.
I wouldn't be surprised if they brought him back. And they might even do other
Well,
crazy.
they have to definitely kill Jaden. I mean,
Well,
we
unless
really
we're
need to
gonna
kill
get
for
the
real.
first glimpse of Sargeras.
That would be cool, but
I hope
Zargaris
so.
probably will stay the very, very, very last end boss. As the final boss of World of Warcraft.
Well, what they could do, as you said, if they are going to go as this line for it, as what everyone hopes, they could literally have it. You kill, you get finally do kill Jaden, and literally part of that fight is something to do with Cyrus in there or something like that. You get a glimpse of him, but say you can't kill him until he is the last one, the last expansion, the last thing you have to kill, the big evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking of that, I just had in my head when you said that. We're in a room fighting Kill Jaden, and I'm assuming Zargaris is bigger than Kill Jaden, and just a giant hand comes out of the portal, and we have to attack that to get it back to retreat. That would be fun.
Something like that. Some
Yeah.
silly like something like that. That would thing like as I've said before, I do think WoW does struggle a little bit with the making it feel grand, making some of the bosses feel grand. Like 9 times out of 10, the end boss that you kill isn't particularly very big, isn't particularly that nasty looking, if you know what I mean. He's a bit of narky. Like Garrosh this time is narky. He's a bit of a grumpy. He's a bit of a grumpy bloke.
Narky, okay, yeah.
He's a bit narky.
Deathwing was big.
Deathwing was big, but Deathwing again, the way they did the fight,
Yes,
and
I
the way
totally
they
agree.
did the fight sort of counteracted what they were trying to do, in the sense because it didn't feel big.
No.
When I got to the stage, like when you did Spine, okay, yeah, you're flying on Spine, blah blah blah, but you have to blow his bits off. That's fine. But again, for me, it just didn't feel epic, if you know what I mean. It was quite an annoying fight. It was just quite a boring fight in lots of sense. I know that Heroic was bonkers at the time. I say I was not playing. I did not play much at all then, but at the time it was meant to be quite. I know people said that was bonkers, but then unfortunately, because that was so hard, by the time he got to Deathwing, yes, he was a big boss. Yes, he had all the dragons, blah blah blah. Yes, he had all that, and everybody who killed it turned around and thought, oh. And got disappointed by the last fight of the expansion, which is pretty shocking.
Yeah, but going on the thread of it has to be something big. Lich King wasn't that big, but the fight was sure was epic.
But that's a very, very good fight.
Exactly.
That's a very great fight.
That fight was so epic in so many ways. I mean, going into Frostmourne, the Black Pancakes, the
chance
Valkyries, there was...
dropping down from the ice
Yeah,
gave depth to the tower, you could say.
yeah. But
You
also
also
the
had-
ending, the little, well, not cinematic, but the little interaction with Tyrion Fordring and such. I mean, after a while, you got bored
Oh,
with him
come
as
on.
well. Of
He
course,
didn't
but
deserve that.
He didn't deserve the final kill, or the final battle, or the final killing blow, of course. But still,
Yeah.
that added also did it for me.
Hmm.
That felt pretty cool. Instead of with Deathwing, that Thrall and everybody shows up. Oh my God, you're my hero! Ah, no. I mean, after Lich King, that felt just so. I mean, that was one of the fights ever.
Thing about Lich King is that even though he was not massive and huge, you saw him do things that was amazing, like terrible, if you want to put it like that, in his puny human form. There was a lot of history with him, which automatically made it more epic. I mean,
Yeah.
And Deathwing had so much going for him, but mechanically he was too clunky to be an amazing fight. Whereas every fight with the bosses is immobile and doesn't move. It always feels less. He feels smaller. Like he feels less epic in scale when he doesn't fucking move. He might be huge. I mean, we've seen that several times. Like Kil'jaeden was big, immobile, or something, and Sinestra, big but immobile.
For Sinestra, indeed big and immobile, but that didn't diminish her fight in any way. That was a very good fight, in my
Good fight.
opinion. Yeah.
But you also had like what was his name, Malagos. He was big
Yeah.
with the drakes and such. I mean, that even felt more epic than Deathwing, and sometimes just with the first two phases. I mean, jumping on the flying saucers, and then the Azure drakes coming to your help, or the red drakes. I mean, or whatever. Just I mean, that felt so much more epic, and exactly what Talk says, that if a boss doesn't move, I mean. You just hop from platform to platform. That's basically what the whole fight was. A sequence of hopping platforms, watching out where you stepped and what you did, and that was the fight. Nothing special about it. Nothing Frostmourne-roomish or anything like that.
Yeah, it was very structured. Every single platform was pretty much the same, apart from, I think, depending which way you did it, you had one platform did slightly more damage than the last platform, and yeah, that was about it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I like Malaga. I thought Malagas was, apart from the whole once you got to the last phase, was it
Drake's kind of sucked.
1-1-1-2, 1-1-1-2,
Yeah,
1-1-2,
true. That
1-1-1-2.
sucked, but that they did something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It-
That
I mean,
was the idea was good. I mean,
yeah,
I
thematically
think
and
the
visually, it
problem
was
with that
amazing.
actually was
Yeah.
the problem with that was that the whole mechanic of vehicle fights that sucked.
yeah.
In Ulduar as well, I was not enjoying the first fight against Flame.
Oh, I
Leviathan.
loved Leviathan.
Really, I didn't
I
like
loved
the vehicle part about it.
I
I
like that it
loved
felt
it.
massive and epic. I mean, it was a huge boss, and when you were outside your vehicle, you were tiny compared to this huge fucking
Yeah.
boss thing.
it also depended on which vehicle you were in. I think because I've been in all of them, but especially the Demolisher just felt so epic when you got the pyrite and the high numbers and everything. But just it's just I love those fights. I totally agree with Talk on that.
Okay, well, we'll agree to disagree.
Not the first time.
No, indeed. I guess coming to the subject of Ulduar, my number one wish for the next expansion is going to be hard modes from Ulduar, that type of hard mode, not just in the drop down menu. Okay, I'm going to change this to heroic now. Oh look, it has more health and does more damage, and has a few mechanics. I'd rather have it be like Ulduar. Some triggers do increase health, but others just give them more complicated mechanics.
Or
I
made
enjoy that
made
much
it a
more.
completely different boss sometimes.
Yeah,
Maybe not 100%, but still they
Maybe
changed.
Mimiron.
Mimiron is exactly. I mean, they changed so much on the fight by just pushing a button, literally. So I mean,
it just
stuff
made
like that is awesome.
yeah, it just made it feel more alive, you know. Just like I want raids to be more grand and have more of what's the word? You know, a grand feeling about it, like you're really in this giant place. We've
Yeah.
said this before, like Ulduar, like Karazhan, I'm in some big tower, or I'm in this Titan construct type thing.
Yeah.
That I just really miss that. Even though Orgrimmar, yeah, you get the sense that it's Orgrimmar, it doesn't really feel epic in any way, shape, or form. Still not.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I quite like the way it does sort of go across different platforms and takes you. But yeah, I do understand. I know what you mean. It does lack something, but even though I am enjoying it.
Yeah, it just lacks that spark, I guess. Something to get you really excited about being in the place itself.
That's
Instead of
right,
just
panache or
going to kill bosses.
The certain panache or oomph or something that
Yeah.
little thing that's been lacking lately, to be honest. And
That's,
World of
all the
Warcraft.
way through Cataclysm as well. I mean, Firelands was okay, but you got to see a lot of fire as it is in the previous tier as well. I mean,
Fine. Is that by the name by any chance? Fireland's okay, but you see a lot of fire.
well, you saw drakes and stuff in Dragon Soul again as well. I mean, I don't know. It's just a lot of repeats.
I like Gnomeregan, but there were too many gnomes in it.
Indeed, the gnomes need to be gone out of Gnomeregan.
Ice Crown Citadel and such. I mean, so it's so
So
cold
icy.
there. So much ice,
I know.
stuff like that. Yeah.
All right. Any other final predictions or hopes before we move on?
Well, hopes. I'm still hoping for more Old Gods
Mm.
because currently, lore-wise, in WoW, they have the most exciting thing going on. All these petty things we've been doing, like in Mist of Pandaria, which the entire expansion did nothing, except fueled the Rathian's vision of the Burning Legion is gonna invade you in any minute now.
Yes, but also empower Garrosh. At least
Yeah,
allow him to do
but
stuff.
if the entire expansion hadn't been there, nothing would really have changed.
Yeah,
Um,
pretty much.
And that's kind of boring in a way.
Although there is a sort of peace, I guess, between Alliance and Horde. I mean, it's fragile,
Yeah, a little bit.
We've
Yeah.
been there, done that. We know how it ends. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
there's
It's
always
gonna end in conflict
skirmishes
again.
and
One
It
expansion
never
of
ends well.
peace and the next expansion of war.
Yeah,
It's how they're always mixing it up.
yeah.
yeah, and that's how it's always going to be between them two, basically.
Worked
because
together
of
in
the
Ice
history.
Crown, then broke up and it worked. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna see demons, lots and lots of demons.
Hopefully, I really hope it. I mean, I'll be okay with Ashara as well, but please give me Burning Legion. It's been so much better in expansions and lore compared to others.
Well, Ashara is probably gonna show up when they do the Titan themed old god themed expansion, since
Yeah.
she is a puppet of the old gods.
Yeah, she is.
So.
Yep.
I believe it was Irsaj. Or, no, it was Nizoth. Nizoth that turned them on to Naga in the first place. So when we see Ashara, we're gonna see Nizoth, and
Yeah.
that it's about time because of the generals in Dragon Soul. He needs to show up as well again, sort of, definitely. So moving on.
Moving on.
Let's see, what game haven't we covered yet? Well, one of the most games I'm looking most forward to next. Blizzard All-Stars has been renamed Heroes of the Storm. And we're going to see a panel, actually 2 panels at BlizzCon. First giving us all the details about it, the heroes and stuff like that, the gameplay. And then they're also going to be showing us live battles. So we were talking a little bit about Heroes of the Storm before we started the podcast. What are we expecting? Anders, let's start with you.
Wow. That's a tough one. Because the MOBA genre is a popular thing right now. Everyone and their mother is doing a MOBA. And this one's been in development for a while. I mean, it was announced like 3 years ago as a StarCraft 2 map, and then it's grown and grown and grown. So I'm hoping we're gonna see tons of characters. Literally tons of characters.
It would be awesome, to be honest.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah.
it just depends what they do. Depends on the development they're putting into it. Unfortunately, do we normally get let down by Blizzard at the moment more? So what you get, what you want, you normally don't get. But yeah, say as long as I put a game similar to that, lots of characters, lots of random choice, some quirky things as well. I think it should be good.
All right, yeah, I'm hoping we get some hunter hero, please. Rexar would be
Rexar.
cool. Yeah, Rexar.
The only
Why not?
one.
We have him in Hearthstone. Let's have him in Heroes too.
I don't know. You're probably gonna see Sylvanas. You might even see one of the other Windrunners. But that's about
Yeah.
it for hunters, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
Enough hunters,
yeah.
to be honest, but yeah.
Oh, shut your face.
there are never enough hunters. They're
would we
doing
have
this
for
Who
podcast
do we have
right
for
now.
paladins then? You have Uther.
Tyrion Forward.
Tyrion,
Or Tyrion, of course, yeah.
That
Um,
Blood Elf leader.
Arthas
thing,
before
Arthas,
corruption.
Arthas is not a paladin. Not
Right.
anymore. He's a death knight.
That's
so.
why I'm saying before corruption, could be, but we will likely see him as a death knight. Yeah,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you won't see him as a paladin.
no.
You might. They might do something like that.
They might
They
do
have
some.
greater freedom.
Would be cool if they might like you start off as a paladin and maybe you can with certain skill or something,
Yeah,
your
his
ultimate or something,
ultimate.
his ultimate, and then you become a death knight for so many seconds and you
Someone
different skills.
Calphazad.
Well, let's not forget they're also doing StarCraft stuff and Diablo stuff.
Oh,
so,
yes.
I mean, we're probably gonna see Jim Raynor carrying all the staples.
fighting Diablo or one of the other primals.
Yeah, you might be able to control Diablo. I mean, he might be playable. Wouldn't.
I'm just foreseeing the at least some of the primevals. So
Tyrion.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's his name again? What's the main
Tyrion.
character? Tyrion.
Tyrael, yeah.
Yeah, very possible. I mean, you can only hope that they're gonna branch out to their older franchises, and we get some Lost Vikings.
Yeah, and the
Uh,
rock and roll racers.
or the guy from Blackthorn.
What game?
Blackthorn.
Okay, I have never heard of that. Okay.
Or was it Blackthorn? It was like a side-scrolling. You control a guy with a shotgun, and you killed orcs.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it was for the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, same era as Rock and Roll Racing and Lost Vikings.
All right. Well, never heard of it.
Um,
Yeah. Is there anything we want to say? Hope that it defeats League of Legends in Dota 2.
It will never be as
Never.
popular as League of
No.
Legends
Nope.
unless they do massive tournament support and they have and the gameplay needs to be better, which is going to be hard. Not
Yep.
impossible, but hard.
It's a
I've never
challenge.
played League of Legends.
I'll say this: if they make the AI better than Dota 2, I'll play it more than Dota 2.
I mean, the thing that's going to
Oh,
draw
man.
people in is the Blizzard quirkiness. I mean, if they
Oh,
keep
yeah.
the style and the humor intact, I mean, it's going to draw people from the more serious Dota 2. But League of Legends already has, a quirky style. So getting people from that game is probably going to be harder.
Yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be a free-to-play game anyway, so I imagine everyone will try it out to see how
Yeah,
it looks.
probably.
Yeah, like
And
you have a lot
then-
of crossovers from Dota to League of Legends. I
Yeah.
mean, people just trying out the grass on the other side, huh?
Exactly.
So-
Which community is less shit?
Well,
Well,
Oh,
you know,
shit!
I
To,
know.
if you're aiming at the WoW community, they're screwed.
true that.
Indeed.
But they might make the game like radically different than the other games.
Yeah.
Like I've been playing a little bit of the DC Comics MOBA. Don't ask, don't judge. I can't remember what it's called anymore.
That good.
Yeah, it was that amazing. Well, it was like an alpha. But they had the game built up. The maps were completely different from the standard MOBA tropes. 2-lane, 3-lane. That they had the very circular maps instead, and the creeps were a lot less important in this
Okay.
game.
This might be a good idea.
That's like one way of going for it. And the item interfaces were easier to navigate. Where you bought one of 6 different items and then you just upgraded as you went along.
Okay.
Very simple stuff. Controls were okay. Game was very unpolished though. So, but
Okay.
it was a new direction you could go in it. So Blizzard might be taking it in a slightly different direction.
Yeah, have you guys tried out Smite? I played it during beta. I'm not sure if it even is still in beta at this point.
Never heard of it even.
Okay, well, basically, it's I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's third person. And so you're actually playing the hero, you see him from his back. And so you don't have a massive overview of the surroundings. And you play the MOBA like that. You still have the 4 skills, and you have to kill minions and stuff like that.
Okay.
But you basically have a completely different view of how you play the game. And it has its merits. It uses gods from old mythologies like Egyptians, Vikings. I'm not sure what others they have a ton. And it's pretty interesting. Blizzard probably
Yeah.
won't go in that direction, but I just thought I'd bring it up as we are talking about MOBAs.
Well, it shows that League of Legends and Dota are only 2 games of a big genre that can
Oh, yeah.
become even bigger.
Massive. Everyone doing MOBAs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's where a lot of companies now see that there's a lot of money and potential for a bigger market. So I mean, there'll only become more and more with more innovative ideas, and sooner or later one might take it over from League of Legends. I'm probably going to say later, but you never know.
This is the thing about StarCraft, and this is still the leader in RTS.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
it's I think it's been done, and it's gonna stagnate in a few years. But right now, everyone's just giving their a go. So it's interesting
Yeah.
to see where
Yeah.
it's going.
Yeah. And I think you gave us a great segue to go on to the last Blizzard game. Actually, we have 2 more to go, but we'll talk about...
What's the last Blizzard game?
Oh, shut up.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
StarCraft is next.
Haters gonna hate, huh?
I'm a hater.
There isn't
I know.
a big panel planned. I believe there's only one What's Next panel planned for
Yeah, StarCraft 2 update.
StarCraft 2. Yeah, exactly. StarCraft 2 update.
That's it. There's going to be showing off the tournament as well, but
Yeah, that one's going the entire day. So if you want to
Yeah.
watch the StarCraft 2 tournaments, you're going to miss all the information from the other streams.
that's true. I think go for arena tournament, but
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So
Priorities,
could
man,
we possibly
priorities.
see something for the next expansion?
probably
A Legacy of the Void or whatever it was
not
called.
yet. I mean,
Hearth-
considering how long it took before Heart of the Swarm was announced, and how long it took before you got any details, this is probably too soon.
Yeah, Heart of the Swarm has been out for 7 months now, so...
Yeah, next BlizzCon maybe, or one of the conventions in the next season, next year, might come with the announcement.
It does seem more likely. So I guess all for StarCraft, we can just say balancing stuff, perhaps. Maybe show off a
Probably.
new unit or two. I hope. That would be nice to at least see a new unit or two for Legacy of the Void.
They might do a little something. But,
Yeah. At
wouldn't
least a
get my hopes
teaser.
up for anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else? I think we're pretty done with StarCraft at this point. It's
Yeah, I
just
mean-
going right now.
It's the most stable game they have at the moment.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
going, and people are playing it, and it's pretty massive. And they don't need to come out with updates every 3 months to satisfy hardcore raiders.
No.
So it's pretty stable.
Yeah, the tournaments I've been watching now less because I've been busy, but a few months ago I was watching a lot of the tournament stuff, and it's just going.
Yeah, the less the
it's
game
almost every
changes,
weekend now.
the more happy the pro players are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's exactly the opposite of World of Warcraft.
Exactly.
What more could they want?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, last Blizzard game, Hearthstone. The Hearthstone panel is actually second, so after the Warcraft panel, and before Diablo and Heroes, and then I'm not sure about StarCraft because StarCraft isn't on the main panel, the channel
StarCraft
that it's going to be
is-
on.
At the same time as the first World of Warcraft panel.
Okay, so even though we're interested in even though we're interested in StarCraft, we're not going to be able to see it because of Warcraft.
Oh, not live anyway.
Not live. Still, I mean, they should have done it at the same time as Diablo. Yeah, I mean,
Please everybody.
people play StarCraft more than Diablo, I hope.
Don't
I wish we
Probably.
could get numbers on that. That would be interesting.
That's your research for next week then.
Maybe I'll look into it if I have time.
So Hearthstone.
So, Hearthstone, Fireside Chat, I believe, not Fireside Duels. Mainly, I assume balancing, perhaps announcing new cards for in the future already. Who knows?
Yeah, they might be talking about what's going on in the future. When are they gonna release the game? Probably before talking about new cards.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they're probably gonna talk development process.
Yeah,
To be
so
honest,
nothing major except for possibly a release date, even though they keep sending out massive waves of beta invites now.
Yeah,
and-
and we're seeing open beta soon. I think.
Exactly, so I'm sure they'll announce open beta at BlizzCon and possibly a release date. But at this point, because, well, I know I'm playing it, LJ's playing it, we're all playing it actually,
Yeah.
all
playing-
four of us.
Yeah, got it.
All four
So
of us,
we already kind of have the game. It's just things can change, but there shouldn't be another reset. And so the release date isn't really important for us, but for others it could well be. As long as they get an open beta announcement, everyone will be happy.
At which point do you start moaning about the reset, Mezzy?
I could do so now if you want.
Nobody
Please
wants
don't,
it, but we
please
know
don't.
it's gonna happen.
Mum's the word.
Yeah.
Huh?
There's also the Hearthstone exhibition match, the tournament
Oh,
on
yes,
Saturday, I
indeed.
think it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where they got, I think, 8 players playing.
yeah, 8. And they're all basically streamers that
They're
got
all
it from the beginning.
streamers,
Yeah.
except one of them is one of the Hearthstone guys, as far as I know.
Okay.
I'm looking up the list if I
Okay.
can find it. It's here.
We'll give you a minute.
Yeah, you keep talking.
Sure.
Never has a problem with that.
So, welcome back, Matt. You've been quiet.
Yes, I have. It's all right. Phone calls and busy schedules, you know.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes,
I
of
know,
course, man.
Of course. So, how
I'll
are
just
you
speak to my-
enjoying Hearthstone?
Yeah, I am. So I've not played as much at this time because I know when they did the sort of as they did the reset, I did a few more invites, did the patch. They sort of screwed everything up with the servers and everything for a while. So I thought, you know, I'll leave it a couple of weeks, let everything get settled. I've started playing a bit more today and enjoying it. Done a bit of arena and attempted to win on a priest and that type of stuff that I've never played before because I stick to druid. And it was good. It was a good fun. Got a bit unlucky. Some pesky people killed me, but apart from that, it was a good banter.
All right, I got the tournament information here for the Hearthstone tournament.
Right on time.
It's gonna be day 9 against Wreckful. Both streamers, very well known. Day 9.
Day 9. Oh, that guy's
Probably
awesome.
the
Yeah, from StarCraft,
most well
honestly.
known StarCraft 2
I think so.
commentator.
Caster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
caster. Yeah. Then we got Hafu versus Kriparian. He's a WoW player, obviously the hunter.
Yeah.
From what was he from? Nihilum.
Method or Blood
yeah, probably.
Legion?
One of the big ones. And he also knows a lot of
People
Hearthstone.
are going to crucify us for not knowing, but I believe Blood Legion, because he's American, isn't he?
I have no idea.
Moving on.
Exactly.
Then we got Trump versus H to the Husky.
Okay, fact about Trump, I believe he's the first pro Hearthstone player now. He's the first one to get a sponsor to play it professionally.
Wow, yeah, I believe he
beta
was
already.
the
Already,
top ranked
yes.
people before the beta wipe, and that's why he got the invite. Very active on the forums as well, and everyone knows Husky. And at the end we got Noxus versus Artosis, of course.
Artosis, another StarCraft.
Another StarCraft
2.
caster,
Yeah.
well known. And Noxus is the guy from Hearthstone.
Okay.
The guy that is not Flux. So, they're going to be playing, and they're going to be playing a special format. All matches are best of 5, so first to 3 wins. And they have to bring 3 different decks. And if the deck loses, they have to change to another deck.
Wow, I didn't know that actually. That's interesting.
Very interesting format. See how that plays out.
But that means the tournament could be pretty long. If one match
yes.
takes 15 minutes, and you eventually have to play all 5, that's an
Oh,
hour and 50
yeah.
minutes for one matchup.
Yeah, that is going to be a long.
Matches obviously don't last all that long, but let's see how much they got scheduled. They got scheduled from 10 to 1, so they got 3 hours to finish.
That's not
this.
enough.
Well, it is. They'll be playing probably
Oh yeah, they'll be playing 2 at a time, of course.
2
Yeah.
at a time and stuff
Maybe
like that.
they might even be playing all of them at the same time.
Maybe.
To be honest,
I
They'll
guess
put-
you're right. I'm not sure how they do that with StarCraft usually.
Multiple screen. They'll have multiple screens, right, and then just do a sort of an overview of it, and there'll be some government going, "Oh my God, look at that move, man!" Something along those lines.
oh yeah,
Right. Well, I guess it is possible then.
look at all those
Everything-
legendaries.
Everything is possible.
Yes, who can get most legendaries in one deck? Just have the exact same deck, just different heroes. Sure, I lost. I'll play with another deck. Believe me, it's different.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting format. It's going to be. It's a shame it's doing all the panels, but it's probably going to be worth watching on demand later.
Yeah,
Oh.
definitely.
Wow.
Any last thoughts for Hearthstone for BlizzCon?
Well, not for BlizzCon specifically.
No.
Yeah, not for BlizzCon specifically. I'm intrigued to see how these actual battles go. So I'm only just starting an arena, but I do quite like it. I like the fact it sort of forces you to play classes that you normally would avoid.
Mm-hmm.
As I said earlier, I had my first experience in arena today as a wonderful priest, which I've never played before, but quite enjoyed it, even though I sort of died painfully. Won a game.
The priests are
Well,
overpowered. How can you lose, man? You're bad.
I know.
Boo.
Wow, much hate.
Boo, Matt, boo.
I
For
can
anyone who has
say-
seen the latest South Park episode.
I can say I did get very unlucky.
Yeah.
It's the only gripe I have about
Speaking
the
of
arena.
Hearthstone, by the way, for the viewers, we're planning a special WoW Weekly Hearthstone episode as well. So, somewhere in the next month or two, you'll see that one of those episodes instead of a regular episode. Because we do like to play Blizzard games, and we all have Hearthstone, so we might as well talk about it on camera, because we talk about it anyway. Yeah. Anything else, guys?
I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
I just
definitely
thought
as
I'd mention that since
I'm
Yeah.
excited, man.
Don't forget that
I'm
there's
so
also going to be the contests Friday night
Hmm.
since we're talking BlizzCon.
Oh yes, are we all watching?
I am for at least.
Yes, I am
I,
as well.
I don't have a pass, so.
Usually,
Okay, well, Matt, do you have a pass yet?
Not yet.
Okay,
I'm
because what
contemplating.
Anders and I were thinking, what we did last BlizzCon as well, that I can then stream BlizzCon again, and we're on Skype and we watch this stuff and talk about it, etc. That was pretty fun last time, so we could do that again.
Do we do a comic version of the commentary? Just take the proverbial the entire way through.
No, that would be too much effort. It wouldn't be for the YouTube or anything. It'd be just for fun.
We could do it for YouTube. We could turn around and say what they really mean. Look, you can pay for this. Yes, they're ripping you off again, viewers.
Well,
That's it, lad. They'll hear you, man.
who knows? I guess we can talk about it after we finish this, which we probably should now.
Yeah.
What is it? Well, weekly episode 8 now, 2 months. As always, thanks for watching. It wasn't a regular WoW episode because there wasn't much to talk about. We're not PvPers, etc., etc. However, I still hope you enjoyed our babbling about BlizzCon. Thanks, LJ, for coming again.
My pleasure. Always nice to be here.
He says with a slight smile. See, what's really going on
It says
is...
it in my contract. I don't want to say it.
See, what's really going on is that I've attached a bomb under his seat, and if he moves from it, it will explode. And only when I stop recording, it will turn off.
I don't know why you did it to my suit, though. I never leave my seat anyways. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Anders, for coming. I hope you enjoyed it.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to brighten your day. I had lots of
Yes.
fun.
Well, I'm glad you did. And Matt, of course, last but not least, thanks for coming.
It's all right, darling.
Wow, really, darling. Well, I'm creeped
If you're
out.
rapey at all, luckily. Jeez.
Go
Well,
back to
I'm ju-
sleep.
Well, let me just switch screens for a minute because, as always, okay, that's not working. There we go.
As always, it's not working.
As always, somewhere there in the screen, I believe. Yes, there. If you want to keep up with video updates, you can follow me on Twitter, subscribe on YouTube or like the Facebook page, and when new video content comes out, you'll be notified. Really, that's all there is to it. I know I haven't been releasing heroic guides lately. I've been busy starting a company, new job as well, stuff like that. So I've been keeping busy.
Show off.
Well, you know that's not meant to
Turn
like
pro
that.
already, scrub.
Yeah.
I know. So once again, thanks for watching, and as always, until next time.